Hey guys, I'm Ash and I'm the daughter,
I'm Liz, and I'm the mom.
and this is The Lesser Known.
Off the map.
So we decided to do a little bit of almost like a question of the day, but like more in depth. It's going to be called Off the Map. So from now on, you'll see mini episodes called Off the Map. And this is just us talking and hanging out and getting to know you guys because we'll have polls after every episode and you guys can write in and tell us more about yourself. This can also be a place where if you guys have stories and you want to write in and you want us to share on the podcast, just let us know. Like, hey, it's okay to share. It's okay to use my name. Or if you don't want us to use your name, we'll just say an unknown source or anonymous
A
source or
listener,
whatever.
a follower, whatever. A friend.
Yeah. Whatever you want us to call you, just put it on there. Just not anything like super inappropriate or crazy.
Just a little bit inappropriate, but not super inappropriate.
Yeah. So today's topic is going to be, well, I labeled it as road trip or nah. But where I was going with that was, would you rather do a road trip or would you rather fly to a location and then explore? What would you
Uh,
rather do?
I think my answer is nah. I don't think, I
Okay.
don't think, I don't, I, so here's the problem. I don't have a lot of experience with road trips. I've always been, if I had to go on a long road trip, like for example, when I moved down to Florida, we had to drive for 24 hours, 28 hours, whatever. And it
And it was
wasn't like
mostly
a
you driving because I
and
kept
it
falling
wasn't like
asleep.
a right, and it wasn't like a casual fun trip. It was like I'm just getting to that destination and we can't
Hmm.
stop and we can't stop and look at anything and we just like have to stop at McDonald's and get food really quick and keep going gas station food. Like it was no like let's stop at this thing and check it out or let's stop at that. Like it was just I've always all my road trips have been destination only. So
Hmm.
I so to me road trips aren't fun because I've never had that experience of like, you know, enjoying the process of getting there. It's always been like so I want to be there instantaneously, which would so to me I would rather fly somewhere.
So would it matter if you like pictured yourself having like a bunch of time and money and like not having like would that matter? Or you're just like for sure set on nah.
I think that it would matter because you're right that that's another thing is like the time because I
Hmm.
only when you have a full-time job, you only have so much time off work. So you have to
Hmm.
just get to the place. But I guess let's just say money were no object.
And time.
And money and time were no objects. And I was going from one end of the country to the other and we had it all planned out like in an RV where we could stop at a bunch of places, then I think I would. I guess that would be pretty fun because you could see so many different things. And I know you've done it, like so.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely my thing. I love road trips. I've been on a ton of them. I think one thing that I would really like to do that is I think it's only been done one other time and the guy made a book about it was he road tripped like the entire world basically. And how he did this was, he obviously drove, but there's some parts where you can't just drive to like Europe. So he took a ferry. Like he put his car on a ferry and like road tripped all through everywhere. And he wrote a book and it was like however many miles. So I would love to do that if I had time. I think it took him like 6 months, I want to say.
That's not bad.
It's not bad at all. It could have been longer. But then if you think about it, like Europe's small. So
Hmm.
like you can drive all the way from like the south to North Europe and it's like 8 hours maybe. I don't know. But
True.
it's like it's really close to that. Like so Europe is much smaller. I feel like the US is probably where it took all those months. But I prefer road trips because well, like I said, I've done a lot of them, but I also use like this app called Road Trippers, and we're not sponsored by them. I wish we were. But they're awesome. Like they help you plan a road trip and they give you all the kinds of suggestions, and you can plug in like the coordinates that you want to go. And usually, how I plan out my road trips is around like stops. It's not even just like the destination. So I'll pick like Arizona to Washington. But I won't drive like just the straight route. I'll like look up stuff around it, like any of the national parks, and I'll go like an hour out of the way to go that way and kind of do stuff like that. So I'll take you through my whole road trip process. So basically, I picked a destination and then I look up on Atlas Obscura. It's like a website. And this is like also where I get some content for the
Yeah,
podcast.
same. Me too.
Yeah. And they have like a lot of like, I mean, it'll tell you if it's permanently closed, but it's like abandoned places and like lesser known places. So I'll look up those things, and if anything sounds interesting along the way, I'll plug that into Road Trippers, and then Road Trippers will have some suggestions. And then I go to the national parks. I'm like, which ones can I visit? So I definitely prefer road trips. I think you can. It does take a lot longer, but you can see so much more. It's so much more fun.
Well, it's funny that like you're saying that, and then I was like, oh no, I wouldn't do road trips. But when we just took this trip to Italy, and it sparked my memory with this because when you said you could do a ferry, so we actually did drive from Sicily to Salerno, which is up the coast of Italy. And Sicily, I don't know if you know, this is an island, so we drove from the island to the mainland, and we actually did that thing where we did a ferry. We drove our rented car onto the ferry, and then there was like a 30-minute ferry ride over to the main part of Italy. So it just reminded me that, I mean, that road trip was okay, but like we also didn't really stop or anything. So it's like,
How long was it?
it was about 9 hours. So we
Okay.
split it up and we did like the first four, and then we stopped at this really cool like beach town called Tropea, which is my favorite part of the whole trip. And it just we did it by accident. And so I guess that is like a good thing about road trips is like you find these like hidden gems that I didn't even know was there. Like I tell people about Tropea and they're like, "What's that?" Because it's not like a,
Yeah.
but it was like the most beautiful place we went the whole time. So I do see what you're saying. Like the road trip would, if we didn't do a road trip, we would have never ended up there. And now, like
Yeah.
next time I go to Italy, that's like the only place I want to go. So I do get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, road trips definitely like give you some hidden gems out there because it's so hard for me to decide because I like them in very different ways. But I did two really big road trips. One was 2 weeks through like, up the coast of California, and then the other was like a week long, and it was when I moved from Illinois to Arizona. But I like didn't just like I said I didn't go the straight route. I like went up and did my own thing, but I like them for very different reasons. California was beautiful and it had like a lot of nature and things like that. And the road trip I went on from Illinois to Arizona was also like that. But I think it was just very different times in my life. But I will say, like, one thing that I thought was cool was I went to the Badlands. And I knew nothing about like Badlands or South Dakota or anything. But once a year they have this motorcycle event called Sturgis.
Oh, I've heard of
And
that.
I just happened to be there like when I was driving through. And so I saw all the bikes and stuff
Oh,
and
that's
like
cool.
yeah. And so I think like that is cool when you just happen upon things. But on like the other side of it, I have had scary moments on road trips too. Like the I told you about that guy, right? On the back road when I was on my way to Arizona.
I don't know, maybe.
Oh,
I don't
all
remember.
right. Well, this was like terrifying and like it definitely makes me want to travel safer. During my road trip, I was almost to Arizona and I was just kind of getting anxious at this point. I'm like, I just want to be there already. There's a lot of like nothing now because I was driving like back roads through Colorado and my maps took me off to this like highway, but it was a highway that had no lights. Like it looked like a back road. And I was like, this is so weird. Why is it taking me here? But I lost service. And I was also listening to like a scary true crime podcast.
Oh,
And I was alone,
oh,
right? So
don't
I
do
lose
that.
service. Well, I didn't know. It's not like I just did it. Like I didn't
No, I
know.
mean like what listening to a scary podcast where you're
I didn't know. How was I supposed to know? Like, oh, I shouldn't listen to a scary podcast
because
because
you're
I'm about to
traveling
go down this
across
dark,
the country.
mysterious
No,
road.
not because of that. It's because you're traveling across the country by yourself. And that's like
I think it makes me more aware.
that's like true
I think it
crime
helps.
101. That's like when it happens.
No, I think it makes you more aware because had I not been listening to it, maybe I would have done something different. Because what happened was it took me down this road and it was only me going down this road. I lost service, my maps was offline, so I only had like the downloaded maps, so I could only follow that one way. And I'm driving, and then I finally see like one car pass me. I'm like, oh, thank God, at least there's more people on this road. At the time, I was moving, so I had like a U-Haul full of stuff, like a trailer connected to my truck. The car that I see coming at me, all of a sudden the lights go, like if you're facing it, they go right. I'm like, oh, they must have turned off to a different road because I didn't see him anymore. And then I get there and his truck is parked where I can't go around it. Like he
No.
blocked me. Yes, he blocked me from going past. So the only way was to go back. And it was like a 2-lane road. So with a U-Haul, I had to back up and turn around. And if I fell off the edge, like the trailer would have gone and so would my truck. I like stop and I'm pretty far from him still because I don't know what's going on. But in my head, I'm like, does he have a wife that's in labor? Did he hit an animal? Like, what's going on with this person? He gets out of the vehicle, runs at my truck,
Oh
and
my
goes,
God.
help me, it's raining, help me. Aren't you going to help me? And like starts yelling. And I was like, oh my God, like this is how people die. That like
Exactly.
yeah.
This
And
is
so
it.
I back up as far as I can to get away from him to give me time to like maneuver out of the situation and turn around. So I turn around and I'm driving and I'm like, this is so terrifying. I don't want to be anywhere near that. Then I see two semis going the opposite direction and my maps is still offline. So I don't know where I'm going. So I'm like, I have to turn back around. So I follow the semis and I'm like in between the semis so that because I feel more like safe,
For sure.
you know? So I'm in between them and I see that guy pulled off normal and one of the semis had pulled over to like help him. He's pulled off normal just texting and so I could have been killed that night. Like he had a plan and it was like, you know.
That is
So anyway,
so scary. And
yeah,
that's
and it
like
was like
literally
9
how that
p.m.
stuff happens.
I know. And it
Like
was
that
like
is
9 p.m.
exactly.
I was tired, but I didn't want to stop. So I drove for like 4 more hours and I
Hmm.
stopped at like a truck stop and parked in between two trucks. And then the way I had like my bed, I slept in my truck, like in the cab of my truck, but I have a beanbag chair that folds out into a queen size mattress. So if I like get in there, you can't see me. So I felt more protected, but I had to wait because I was so terrified. I didn't want to pull over and then him come after me.
That is so scary, actually. Oh my God. You could like literally not be here today.
I know. So I think we should do another episode maybe on safety tips because
Oh my
that was so scary.
God. Hmm.
Um,
I think that's a really good idea, like the safety tips thing, because like in like I don't know what I would have done. I mean I wouldn't have got out of the car or anything, but like
hmm.
I would have been afraid to turn around with that big U-Haul on the back.
I was, but it was like the only option I had, So I knew I could drive straight back perfectly fine. So that's what I did. I drove straight back, like a long distance, and then I turned around so I gave myself time
And if
to like
another car
maneuver.
would have been coming towards you, you couldn't have went back. So if they had like doubled
Yeah,
up, if two people, I mean, that
I
literally
know.
could have been. And why did he go diagonal to stop? Do you think that he actually was like trying to?
He was actually blocking me, yes.
Oh my God.
I know, yes, because he was parked in the middle. It's not like he went off to the side, pulled over. He was parked in
Mm-hmm.
the middle. But then when I drove back with the semis, he was off to the side, like pulled over like a normal person. It was scary.
That is terrifying.
Yeah.
And that's another thing about you is you sleep in your car. You know, like when we're describing these trips, like when you say road trip to me would not be sleeping in my car. That is like a big
Hmm.
difference between the two of us is like I
Yeah.
won't do that. So like when you describe it, it's like driving for a few hours, sleeping in the back of your car. So I don't know if other people
Hmm.
are like when you're giving that option of road trip. If you gave me that option, I would say no road trip ever. Like
Yeah.
ever. I need a space to sleep. I need a bathroom. I can't road trip with you probably ever.
Hmm. Probably not. Yeah, I think so. My version of road tripping, I do stay at hotels sometimes, like, because obviously I like my car doesn't have a heating or cooling system. So if it's really hot, I can't stay in it. So I'll stay at hotels sometimes. But if I'm not staying at a hotel and I'm doing camping, whether it's sleeping in my truck or sleeping in the bed with my tent, I'll do that for days. And I try to like camp in primitive areas. So like there's no like water or anything like that. You bring your own stuff. And I like that better because I don't have to deal with like as many people. I don't have to deal with like the fees and like costs associated with that. But when I do that, I just shower at Planet Fitness. Like I'll stop along the route somewhere, and shower at Planet Fitness and then get back to the road. But it's like so efficient because I like don't have to check in, unpack all my stuff, and then repack, and then like
I can't believe
it's
how
just so much
different the
better.
two of us are. Like we're the
I
same, but
know.
we're different. We're like,
Yeah.
it's the Planet Fitness thing reminds me of, you used to want to do the van life, which I think you still at some point might or want to, whatever.
Hmm.
And I remember you trying to sell it to me. So I was like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. How are you going to go to the bathroom? Blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh no, I'll just like sleep in the parking lot of Planet Fitness and shower there every morning. And I'm like, don't you think Planet Fitness is going to pick up on that? Like where there's like someone living in the parking lot and then showering in
But
our
I
shower every day?
but I would have been traveling, so they wouldn't have known. Like it would have been at different Planet Fitnesses, not just one.
But if you're going to live in the van, that's like your housing. You're not going to be constantly driving around. You have to have like a job or something. Like what if you're doing a road trip, fine, but we're talking, hey Ollie. If you're doing a road trip, it's fine, but we're talking about you're like, I'm gonna live in a van. And that was
Yeah,
just
I
so
know.
unappealing to me when your child says, Mom, I'm gonna live in a van. It's like, oh, Ashley, not this. Anything but
Yeah.
this. Like, I just, oh, Ollie. If you guys heard that, that was Ollie, the dog.
Yeah. So yeah, he's gonna give his old man wise knowledge.
What do you think, Ollie? Road trip or nah?
He said, "I like the road trip. Mom takes me on good road trips." But I
I
mean, I
thought he
get
was
what
a
you're
grump
saying.
on road trips.
Um, he likes the destinations. He just like falls asleep.
He's more like me then.
But I think on a flight he'd be worse. He'd be barking the whole time
That's true.
because the ding noise. Oh, because me and Jeremy have thought about that. If we took him, the ding noise on the, you know how it goes ding, like when you first get in, he would go nuts. He hates noises like that, like doorbell, anything like that. So
Yeah.
I guess ultimately I am pro road trip no matter what. If I have time. Yeah. And you're
I feel,
not.
yeah. And I'm not road trip.
Okay.
Even with time, I think. Well, I'm not Ashley's road trips. I'm maybe RV style road trips.
So, what are you guys? Road trip or not? I'm going to put a poll up and you can put road trip or not. Just select one. And if you want, you can comment below on Spotify and tell us why you picked that. If you want.
Or I can even,
Or,
we'll put it on YouTube and we'll put it on Instagram, all of them. So anywhere you find us.
sorry, he's moving
Ollie,
around.
what?
I
Get?
know.
Get?
All right. So,
Okay.
thanks for joining us on our mini episode. We're going to try to release 2 a week along with one of our main podcasts. So,
Yes.
and maybe you'll get some dogs in there.
It's our first off the cuff, as we
Off the
say.
map.
I know, but remember
Oh.
last episode I was like, yeah, we're gonna do some
Oh.
off the cuff stuff, and you're like, yeah, because we say off the cuff all the time.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah.
All right. Well, you got some good alley footage in there, and okay. See you next time. Might be
Yeah. Next
sooner
time.
then. Okay. See you guys next
Yeah,
time.
a week. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Bye.